Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome to Unblock Your Blessings. I'm Vicki Labrilia, your travel size emotions coach, helping you navigate the roller coaster ride of emotions, revelations, and all that comes with adulting. So get comfy because we're about to dive into the nitty gritty of unblocking all that emotional weight and letting the sunshine right back into your life. Don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. And of course, leave an honest review at the end of this episode. It's free, it means the world to me, and it actually helps this podcast reach more ears. Now, friends, it's time to unblock your blessings. And holy shit, I have an amazing human with me. You can see her sunshine smile. Let me introduce this beautiful soul. So, friends, her name is Shannon Morrison. She is the founder of MyResilient Wellness, an empowered abundance shifter, transformational coach, speaker, and four-time international best-selling author. Yes, I did say 4 times. For more than 25 years, Shannon has helped women move beyond survival mode by healing emotional wounds, rebuilding self-trust, and creating lives filled with confidence, purpose, peace, and authentic abundance. Drawing from trauma-informed coaching, NLP, nervous system regulation, generational emotional mapping, and holistic wellness, she helps women release the emotional patterns that have kept them stuck so that they can step into the life they were created to live. And this beautiful soul in front of me believes that healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about coming home to who they were always created to be. And I freaking love that because when we heal the patterns of our past, we create space for the blessings that have been waiting for us all along. Friend, and I get to call you friend because we have become
Absolutely.
very good friends in the past, I don't know, over a year. And I'm so
Yes.
grateful you're holding space to be here today.
Thank you so much. I am honored to be here on your podcast, Vicki. This is such a transformational podcast, open conversations, and I love the who you are and how you show up for your humans. So happy, and grateful to be here. And that
Uh,
was an amazing introduction. Thank you. I feel
you're welcome. Well,
goosebumps.
I tried to ask it, and frankly, I think you're only the third person that I've like asked to be on my podcast, and I'm getting better at doing that. But the synchronicity of it is perfect. So I'll share before we press record. I'm like, look, it is 7/7/26 today when we are recording this. 7 is a family number. It comes from my husband's side of the family. This is episode 67. Like I can't make this shit up.
Right?
And when you get to know Shannon, you'll realize that this is just part of her life as well. So the universe is always looking out. And I love, like, I did not think of the date. I'm just like, yep, it's going to happen. You
Yeah.
were free. I was free. And
Yeah.
we're here today.
And we're here today. Amazing. And it wasn't simple. We're here today. It was a troubleshooting. And I think that's the journey, right? It's how can we troubleshoot and move forward,
Mhm.
even though. And that has been my focus in my coaching for the last, I don't know, I guess I was probably coaching and listening to humans and helping them navigate their own situation for, like I said, over 25 years. So in
Mhm.
a different aspects through my adulting or adulthood, but this coaching, I think I was born to do this. And so God gave me this gift of being able to talk and understand where people are coming from, and I'm just so grateful.
Well, you're really good at it. And I know that some of the listeners that I attract are people walking through it right now. And depending on where you are in your journey, because no journey is the same, right? And sometimes there's lessons that we unfortunately have to learn over and over again until we really break through and learn the entirety of it. And so, a question that I would love for you to be open up about is how you woke up and the shifts that you got to choose into, like you did, in order to be where you're at today.
100%. What woke me up was if something doesn't change, nothing's going to change. And I think that I lived in a scarcity um, life. I lived in fear and mostly self-sabotage for a long time because I felt or grew to the knowing or was programmed that this was what my life was going to look like and this is what it's going to be and this is the box you get to fit in. And I think that my growing up taught me a lot of lessons of that playing smallness, and that I think a lot of us are. If you have nurses and doctors or accountants um, or blue collar humans in your family, that's like, this is the life you lead into, you know what I mean? This is your childhood. You help at the restaurant, you help with the things, and
You
then you
check the
just move.
boxes.
Yeah, and then you just do the
Mhm.
same thing that you were showed, right?
Mhm.
And one thing that I was criticized for, let's just say that, or was always navigated around, was, Shannon, you just talk too much. Could you just be quiet? Shannon, we are seen and not heard. And I still think sometimes that comes up, right, Vicki? The fear of being seen is still there, but incognito, stealth mode, being quiet, you're just too loud. That was always a thing. And so if your listeners here are resonating, like, oh, I heard that. I've checked the boxes of what I thought I was supposed to do, right? But I always had a really good listening ear, even from a young person. People came to me for questions, and for some reason I had a resolution for them. And so what was in the gap for me was, or what was the shift for me, was that, first of all, I learned from a great human. I think my first year, we're both into holistic wellness, right? We both are into doTERRA. I love doTERRA. I've used it for 15 years probably. And I think my first convention, I heard so many people say, how one person does it is not necessarily how you have to do it. And I was like, what? Because I think we just sit there and look at the next person and we're like, oh, I want to do that. I
Yeah.
have to do it like they do
Like we
it.
have to duplicate
Yes,
exactly how.
this
Mhm.
is the system, this is the spreadsheet, check the boxes, and this is how our business, our life, our relationship, our marriage is supposed to look like if we do all these things. Friends, it's not reality,
Yeah.
right? You cannot do it like somebody else does. You are your own human. God put you here, however you believe, to be your own human. And so when I got over the comparison game of I'm missing out because I'm not perfecting how she does it or how they do it, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, so like I do know something. I do have strengths in my beingness. And then, humans like Eddie Villa was like, what are your strengths? Here's your strengths. Lean into what you're good at. Find the other humans that you're not so successful or powerful, or it's not, doesn't come easy to you. What comes easy to you, Shannon? This, and this. 100%, right?
Mhm.
Positivity,
Yeah.
communication. I love to talk. Gratitude, empathy,
Mhm.
design, like figuring new things out, thinking about the future. All those things are in my strengths, and it's not everybody's strength,
Mhm.
right? And so when I started like listening into my divine being and who I was, and starting to do life my way, then things started opening up for me differently. And I 100%, and you know it, because I'm like, there's no have tos in life. We choose, we desire, and we get to. And when I decided to stop saying I have to pay my bills, I have to open my mail, I have to go to work,
Mhm.
um, I have to stay in this marriage, I have to be the perfect mom. And it was like, I choose to show up differently
Mhm.
for the humans that I care about, that care about me at the same time. And so I think that was the leaning point, that was probably 10-ish years ago.
Well, the
So I
frequency
was
shifts when you
older.
change your verbiage as well. Words are
100%.
very powerful. Some people
Absolutely.
even say like the words are spells in a sense of what you
Mhm.
say, you create. I am
You
a firm
do.
believer, and over the past year or so that I have known you, I
Mhm.
have created the habit around not I get to, like I
Mhm.
get to versus I have
Mhm.
to.
Yep.
And the frequency is completely higher than I have to. 1000%.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
1000%. You don't want to do it if you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to go to work today. It's Monday.
Yeah, no, that feels like
It
shit.
it does. It feels like shit. Your words create your beingness, and your beingness creates your environment. Like your words just literally 100% create the filter that you show up as, It creates your close filter of who you are around, and your words will either 100% show up for you and build you up,
Yeah.
or they'll tear
Elevate
you down
you
and
or
bring
tear
you
you
around.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
it is true, but it doesn't happen overnight, y'all. Like
Mm-mm.
the awareness around this and those micro moments in our day that we shift our language, shift our
Mhm.
tone,
Mhm.
realize that we are dipping our frequency. We get to make those choices. We get, see, like I do it on
Mhm.
autopilot now. We get to choose to bring
Mhm.
it back up
Yeah,
with amazing
100%.
tools. Like Shannon didn't do this overnight. It happened over time. Any good
Mhm.
thing takes time. We all know, we
And
wish we had the
consistency.
cheat code.
Oh, right. Can I just give you a cheat code and all the things, right? 100%. Can we have the
Yeah.
cheat code? No, because we get to go through
Mhm.
the adventure,
Yeah.
this journey of being ourselves and who we were meant to be. As you said it, we don't know the end result. We get to take the next step to get
Mhm.
us the next step. No one else can take our journey for us,
No.
and our journey is our own journey. And so, just for the audience here, right? It starts with that understanding of just thinking about. Um, One thing is, how many times a day do you damn yourself? Do you should on
Too damn
yourself?
many.
You damn many, right? The first step for me was when I got frustrated, like say I'm okay, friends, my attention to details, like the time management, I'm 98% of the time late. Okay. So, which does not make me a bad person. It makes me like, I think I can do one more thing before I leave the house because I have all these things in my brain, right? So if you resonate,
Squeeze
raise your
one
hand,
more thing in.
put a comment below this video, be like, same, Shannon, same. I feel like I can do 50 things if my, I get to meet somebody three doors down.
Mhm.
You can't get 50 things done in my brain. Anyway, so that is the thing. But one thing that I used to do is shit on myself and get mad at myself first for being late, but like bad things happen when you're rushing. Car
Mhm.
accidents happened. You spill your coffee all over yourself. You lock yourself out of your car. Like things just happen for you. And I say happen for you because it slows you down and makes you understand that it could be easier if we chose into more time. Okay.
I spilt my coffee this week. I forgot my keys when I walked to the car this week. I misplaced probably 20 things already this week. And it is only
Uh-huh.
what day?
It's
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
I hear you.
Exactly.
I hear you.
100%. So what I used to do is shit on myself, which we could say shit on ourselves because it's the same thing. But now I'm like, I shake my head and be like, oh, well, that was funny. I laughed so loud earlier today because troubleshooting is super fun, but you get to not get overwhelmed. That was not an easy task. So from shitting on myself, I went to shaking my head and being like, you just spilled coffee. You didn't like those pants anyway, Shannon.
Yeah.
Those pants they made your ass look big. You just got to go
You
change
didn't,
them.
yeah, you weren't that cute.
Yeah, I
You
wasn't
needed to
cute
elevate your
enough.
cuteness.
I can elevate this, right? And so that was how it started shifting, right? The words that I put in front of me, the words that I spoke to myself, um, to now like massive. The hardest thing I can do is stand in front of the mirror naked and tell myself how amazingly beautiful I am, right? That is like 10 years later, we get to do that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But the biggest shift for me was putting affirmations, positive things on me, jewelry, faith over fear, my first bracelet, everything that I buy, if it's all inspirational and I put good things in front of me, good words, good verbiage. My mirror says you can do anything. Like when I get my makeup on, right? You just get to have things in front of you constantly because women have at least 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. 90% of them are repeated every single day, and 90% of those ones that are repeated are negative. So we get to switch that. We get to turn it around. It's not an overnight success, right? It is a practice continuing every single day. I mess up every day. Every day I mess up. but it's how you show up for yourself when you mess up that'll make the difference in your environment and the world you create.
Yeah, the bounce back, the awareness, and understanding that you are human, so you will fall. But how do
Mhm,
you choose to pick yourself back up? How do you choose to reframe your mindset around that situation that occurred?
mhm,
You are at a place now to where the amount of time it takes for you to expand your awareness around a rough time, something that's sticky, something that's hard for you in life, the awareness around that is significantly decreased of, okay, what actions can I take? What am I in control of to help, shift myself out of this funk?
mhm.
Like you've worked yourself up to this point. And is life sunshine and roses all the time? No, hell no. We are living this human experience. So
100%.
there's going to be those times that piss us off, that drain our battery, of course. But what you do after those things happen plays a big role in how you experience this life, because this life gets to be so freaking fun and
Mhm,
abundant. That is a choice that I'm choosing. I'm not subscribing and drinking the Kool-Aid that it's damnation. Turn off the
mhm.
damn news. That's all.
Exactly. This
Like,
world has amazing things.
mhm,
Every single I focus on who donated $1 million to kids, who is buying the, humans in the US and overseas food, like, right, Tony Robbins. Every time you buy something, every single dollar spent buys a meal for somebody else. Like, those are the things I circle my brain around.
mhm,
Um, but it's all about self-compassion, right? And I had a thought in my brain, and you had such a good point that it'll come back to me. But it's self-compassion.
mhm,
That's where it starts. And the understanding that, yeah, bad things happen, but what is the positive value of it right now?
mhm.
Um, what can what can what is happening for me in this situation? Not saying everything is your fault, but I do recognize, how am I creating this? How am I sourcing this disconnect? How am I slowing this situation down? What is for me in the learning, right? Every journey and experience and shitty moment in my life has been for my learning, education, to get me to today, to see the humans, to coach the humans, to help the humans that I do, because of that experience. If everything would have been shiny roses and rainbows, I wouldn't be able to serve the humans I do in the capacity that I do, or my own self, right?
Correct.
Um, I was here, and I chose into holistic wellness and GEM and NLP to successfully heal the wounds that were my learning.
Hmm.
And in doing so, I'm like, well, if this works for me, how can we multiply this and make women in this world who hold the emotional candle to every household? We are freaking fabulous.
We are.
We're
Hmm.
amazing. We are resilient. We are strong. Forget the I'm broken piece, because
Unsubscribe from that belief because that is such a
unsubscribe
false
that.
belief.
Yes.
Hmm.
And that's why I used to not ever say I'm a domestic violence survivor. I just spoke these words the other day. I never said it because I thought it meant that I was weak, or I was broken, or I didn't show up like everything was fine. Because that's what we do. I live in the central United States, and we just pull our big girl panties on and go to work, right?
Hmm.
That's what we're taught. I'm from the West Coast, but most of my life has been here, and that's not reality. And so it just gets to be easier than that. And the training gets to, how can it serve you? And
Hmm.
if we're not showing up authentically, if we're not showing up kind to ourselves, we're not showing up for anybody else.
Yeah. I
Not our
love
kids, not our family.
and I feel like there's something that our listeners need to take away. And by the way, in order to get a hold of Shannon, you're just going to look down below because I'm going to link all the freaking things, whether she wants it or not. I'm just telling you right now. So, because if this resonates with you, I'm telling you, the work I do, the work she does is going to catapult the
Mhm.
time between you being stuck here and you living to your fullest potential.
Your best day in
That
life.
is, yeah, yeah. That is why people hire coaches. That is
Mhm.
why the coaching space exists and will forever exists past our time. The And I mentioned it. Did you hear me when I said she was a four-time international best-selling author? I'm not making that up. But that is part of her legacy that she's leaving behind. I and I hope you all know that as well. Like just because we're here now, we
Mhm.
also get to leave, some people call it footprints in the sand, a legacy behind them. But it's like I want you to ask yourself that question. What legacy are you leaving behind? Because if you don't like it, if you don't like the answers that are coming to your mind right now, guess what? You can pivot. You can
Mhm.
shift them. Coaches, good coaches have had coaches. I know I've had coaches.
Oh, I've
No
had a
more.
coach this entire time. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The coaching space is here for a reason and it's not going away. And the question that I was posing to you, how you woke up, we've talked about that, the things, and eventually they pay off.
Mhm.
Understanding that, knowing, like if you could reach over and be like, okay, beautiful soul, like friend to friend here, what would you tell my listeners that it does get good? Like, what would you want them to know now instead of waiting 6 months, 7 months down the road to anchor into?
Oh my gosh. Like,
And
where
did
would you
that make
start?
sense? Because it made sense in my
Yeah,
head.
I think so. I think so. My brain is going so many directions. The biggest thing is it depends on where you are, but I really feel like in every situation, we always think, well, it's so hard where I am. I can't even imagine the hardness or how challenging or how difficult it will be if I choose differently. And I think that I'm sure you've heard it and from your coaches, and I'm sure you've shared it in those words. We get to choose our hard. Like, what there is a price that we pay and a cost to everything. So, what is the cost to you to stay right where you are right now and not changing your reality, not changing what you do every single day, not changing that job, not changing that relationship, not moving to a completely different place because your environment is sabotaging you? Wellness or mental wellness, physical wellness, or whatever it is, financial wellness, all the things. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So, what I thought 10 years ago or 15 years ago was, this is so hard right now. I cannot even imagine doing this solo. I can't even imagine being a single parent to small children. I can't even imagine getting off an antidepressant, what my brain would do then, right? I can't imagine how to formulate all the
It was
stuff
so
in my head,
monumentous. Your brain
right?
didn't even have the awareness of
The
like, hey, I can't, the
capacity. I'm
capacity
like,
to.
the capacity
Mhm.
is not there, right? But what
Mhm.
if it was easier on the other side of that really big decision? What if it got easier every single day because you weren't filled with anxiety going to that job every day? If you weren't filled with anxiety of what's going to happen in your home every day? What if you got to choose for your own damn self and didn't have to listen to somebody in your ear every day saying negative things? Or what if it was easier if you stopped saying that negative stuff to yourself? And I think that we get in every situation in leadership and all of the things is we get to choose every single day. The biggest thing that I was going to say, it came back to me, thank goodness, is we are in control of our own self, right? We cannot control anything else.
Mhm.
The biggest thing that shifted me was I got to choose how I reacted to everything. No one can make me feel a certain way. No one can make me react a certain way. I am 100% responsible for what comes out of my mouth, the central nervous system, the sweaty palms, the hair on the back of my neck, the words that used to come out of my mouth. 100% responsible for all that Shannon that came out.
Oh, I like how you said that.
All that Shannon. Okay. Shannon can get fierce.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's needed, friends. I'm not even going to 100%. Sometimes it's needed to be fierce, to be a mama bear, to stick up for the humans that you love dearly. Absolutely 100%. But one thing that my husband, who is a brilliant human, he doesn't think he is, he's a brilliant human, is Shannon, who just won? So I want to ask you, that is a question that you get to ask when we get, when we're experiencing life happening to us and we react in this massive negative way, who's winning in that moment? It definitely ain't you. And it's definitely not the other person on the other side.
Mhm.
No one wins.
No, it's a stupid wash. But I
Mhm.
hear what you're saying, and hopefully the listeners are picking that up.
Yeah.
That anger, that reaction, you're in control of that reaction. The words that are coming out of that other person's mouth, the body language that's no, 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 no. The
Mhm.
reaction you're having is because you are having an issue with it.
Mhm. So you're being triggered. And so what I get to do is, first of all, my eldest child is brilliant and she says silence lasts longer. Very true.
Hmm.
And then we just sit back and take a minute, even in the situation. I need a minute. But you take back in a minute and be like, why is this triggering me? Why am I so offended? What has this brought up for me? What happened when I was 12, 9, 4 that is coming up to me right now? Because, sister, you are a big girl and this should not affect you. This is what I think to myself, like,
Yeah.
sister,
The internal
Shannon,
dialogue, those questions that you're asking
yeah.
yourself. Hmm.
So, like, this, why is this affecting you so much? And then you can be like, okay, this feels crappy. I feel it. This is all that's happening with my physical presence. This is what's happening. My heart rate's raised. I feel like my blood pressure's whatever. My cheeks are rosy. I might have tears in my eyes because Shannon's emotional. Um, and that's okay.
Mm.
And so, like, in 5 minutes, now what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
That's it. It gets to be that freaking easy,
Yeah. What is the
right?
action I get to take that I choose to take? App.
That I choose to take.
Yes. Yes.
No one can. The biggest thing is, and I tell humans all the time this, and if my kids ever listen to this podcast, I tell humans all the time this: no one can make you feel any certain way.
Don't you wish your younger self knew that?
Heck yes.
I
But at 24 or 25 years old, would I have listened to my older self? I don't
no,
know. Mm-mm,
probably not. I could say
probably
the
not.
same dang thing verbatim with the same tone to your children, and it would land different because you
Absolutely.
have
A
this
hundred
other,
percent. Yeah.
DNA connection that is like, nope, your mom. Boop. I'll pick up
Love
2%,
that.
10%. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the transformation, friends, really is 1% shift. Whatever you can shift 1% at a time, 1% a day, 1% a week, 1% a month, 1% a year adds up, multiplies in 10 years. Well, I think we really, and Tony Robbins says it all the time too, we overestimate what we can achieve in a short term. We overestimate what we can choose in 90 days, in in 6 months. We
Yeah.
underestimate what we can do in a year or 10 years
Mm.
or 20 years. With the wisdom that we have every single day, everything multiplies, just like our money. There is compound interest in every situation that you go through, and it's how you show up for yourself and how you move through it that creates that compound interest, that compound resilience, that compound compassion and just understanding.
Mhm.
It's really about understanding and the self-compassion. And when you can understand and have compassion for yourself, the understanding and compassion for other humans and where they may be and where they may have come from, they may not be at the same level you are, and that gets to be okay.
Mhm.
And maybe you have seen people, your audience, yourself, myself. I've seen people. I'm like, dang, they've done a lot of leadership program. They've had a hell of a good coach because wow, the resilience and the ability and the way they hold themselves is so different and unique.
Mhm.
And that comes with that resilience and that self-compassion and that self-belief that positive things are going to happen for me because positive things always happen for me.
Amen. Absolutely. And so I know you so well, but the listeners tuning in, they might be hearing you for the first time. And I want to make sure my audience understands how they can get a hold of you. And before you tell them all those details, I do want to ask you to take a minute or two to explain why you named your business MyResilient Wellness. I know this
Mm.
answer, but I would love for them to understand and make that connection.
Um, my business, the umbrella of my resilient wellness, started with emotional and mental health support. It really is all about my business, and my core of what I wanted to do is help women um, not be made to have to resort to medications to support their mental health. I worked in mental health and addiction, and I know that so many drugs, pharmaceuticals, things that we resort to numb ourselves are addictive. And I watched the circle of all of that, and I helped people for 10 years in crisis support and all the things. And so my biggest goal a long time ago, 15 years ago, was to find ways, emotional support for my family and women of the world. Resilience is my jam. I think that we are resilient. We're not broken. So MyResilient Wellness was created because of doTERRA and where I was when I chose to get divorced from my ex-husband. I was in a domestic violence relationship. He's a narcissistic human. He is an alcoholic, massive addiction to alcohol and all the things that keeps him not healthy or not well. And I wanted a different story for my family. And doTERRA and the essential oils really support emotions within 20 seconds, can we say?
Oh, yes.
They change your mind instantly. And I was a single mom, and I needed support that was easy, that we didn't have to go to the doctor for all the physical needs as little kids. They're all sick and nasty, right? They have sickness, and I didn't want to have to go to the doctor, and we didn't. And I'm so grateful for that. That grew up to me really working on my own belief about myself, right? My own emotions, my own generational patterns, why domestic violence, addiction runs in my family, which led me to the gym, and it just grew from there. And I grew my business from that, my coaching program. It just really, there was a starting point. God led me to doTERRA. He slapped it in front of me probably 5 times, and I said, no, no, just like he did for GEM, generational emotional mapping. Friends, like almost every single thing that we do, we believe, we react to is our subconscious talking. Subconsciously, we go through things in our own life that create that knowledge, or that code, if you will. But so much of that code was gifted to us in utero when we're conceived. And just that knowledge, and me trying to understand the science with generational emotional mapping, the science of pain and emotions, connections to those two things, led me to GEM, which also wasn't an easy yes. I said no like 5 or 6 times before I actually got trained. And so that's why I also think if something comes up to you more than 3 times, it's a full body yes, and God is leading you that direction. So you should just stop being adverse to it.
Don't get in your own way, please. We're very good at that as humans.
Just say yes more often.
It's 3 times, and off air, I'll share with you what I'm just ignoring, and I already know it's supposed to happen, but I'm like, when do I have the time?
We don't have the time. We get to
time.
Exactly. It was the best, most emotional. When I did the GEM conference, it was the most emotional, gut-wrenching situation I have ever gone through, and the most massive release and healing that I ever gave myself the opportunity to have. And from that moment, I was like, this is the ripple that I was here to create. I am here to end generational cycles of domestic violence and addiction. I am here for it every single day. Am I perfect at it? Absolutely no. We all have vices, friends. Okay. So what you choose into every single day matters. It gets to get easier and easier and easier. But what you put in your body,
you give yourself, right? The more evidence you give yourself of how beautiful it gets to be, the more your brain recognizes that as truth. It doesn't know whether it's a truth or a lie.
It doesn't.
It assumes it as fact, regardless.
You give yourself evidence every single day about everything.
Yeah.
So what is the evidence you want to show your brain? What is the evidence of the most powerful human or draining evidence? We all want to be better. Every single day we want to show up as a different person, and a better person, and a stronger person. You are all unique. We are all unique in our gifts, our strengths, our beliefs. and what we are here to do. And like you said at the very beginning, what is your legacy that you want to give? My legacy is that there are more women that know their power, that know their worth, have self-compassion, and can lead, that can lead so strongly in their belief that nothing of their past matters anymore. Like, I feel like women think that they stand on stage and everybody can see their scars, and it's untrue. We are the only humans that know our scars. And friends, our scars are warrior situations that just are incredibly beautiful. And maybe even it just zero judgment on your scars because they make you who you are today. I would never be this audacious, sassy human that I am today, and have the knowledge that I have, and be able to talk in these tables and the spaces that I am right now, had I not chosen 1% shift 15 years ago.
Ditto. I if I didn't choose in those micro moments, those opportunities, those small opportunities, I would not be here today. I would not have what I have. I wouldn't have the confidence I have today, and that inner knowing of shit, I'm freaking awesome. I am. Am I doing that to toot my own horn? No. But I was born this way. So are
Yeah,
every beautiful soul listening to this podcast.
100%.
They
You are
are.
amazing. You are beautiful. You are audacious and a such a bountiful leader in this world for women, and for people to really understand their beingness and their creativity and their worth. You pour it outward with everything that you say. And
Like
I've
Care
watched
Bear
you.
stare. That's what I think of. Like,
It is a Care Bear stare. Friends, I saw this human. Oh my gosh, I have to tell this story because it just came to mind. It's going to help somebody. We walked into a restaurant. She wasn't even going to go with me. I was like, I need a human. My husband says, do not walk anywhere alone in New York City. And she walked into this restaurant. It was kind of dark in there, actually. And she talked to these two girls like she'd known them for 40 years. Granted, they were like 20, maybe 18, 20, maybe. I don't even know. They were so young. And she was just like, oh my gosh, what is on your heart to do? Do you guys have I mean, just the things that she talked to them, and how the amazingness that you poured in, that they were beautiful, that they were unique, and they had something to share with this world, that they just need to, they got the opportunity, got to listen to her heart pouring out of the love of a stranger. And what they will do with that is going to be beautiful. That is the
yeah,
human that is your host right now. That is the human. It is absolutely the Care Bear. It's like the love heart or the star heart
right.
Care Bear.
Something.
This really
Can't help
ages
it.
us, but I loved the Care Bears. I loved it. So the
Thank
audacity
you.
to just really shift this world, and that is what we're here for. We're here to make the world a better place. And it's not what I have, what I will have, is how I made people feel. And that is the legacy that I want to leave, is how I made people feel in their circle.
Friend, I don't even have to ask you the ending questions that I already had on my heart because you were answering them without me even prompting you. Friends, you understand now listening to this beautiful human, Shannon Morrison, because it just hits. It hits every time. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for your presence here and your realness, because this is exactly what these souls needed to hear today. And I know this is going to land. So, my invitation to all of you is, and we actually didn't cover this. So, do you want to quickly tell them how how they can work with you? It's going to be down below, but for just the audio people, I would love for you to
Absolutely.
share.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Literally, I'm on all the platforms as Shannon Morrison or MyResilient Wellness. DM me, friends. I love, coffee chats. First of all, caffeine is my jam. I know it's probably not, see, vice. I love coffee. Okay.
Same.
So coffee chats, I love connecting with new humans. I am a relationship builder to my heart. So I love meeting new humans. So coffee chat or DM me and get in the DMs, and we can and see how we can work together. Energy sessions, I would do them every single day. Master at LMP and GEM certified. So if you are here and you're like, I have a lot of things that are generational, patterns and I want to get through them, I'm here to help you release those things in real time, and happy to help that. And we could look at coaching. Obviously, you also have an amazing coaching containers as well. But if it's something like that, if you want to heal and you want to move forward, if there's something you want to let go and release forever, if you want to change a pattern that was gifted to you, I'm here for you, friends.
Yeah,
So
Shannon's your girl. I appreciate you so very much. So, beautiful humans, before you go, do you want to be a guest on Unblock Your Blessings? Do you feel called to share your story with others? Because if so, and it's on your heart, then you know what to do. Underneath this episode, grab the link below to submit your request to be a guest on my show. The world needs to hear your voice, your wisdom, and your inspiration. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Unblock Your Blessings. If you found this episode helpful, enjoyable, or just freaking awesome, please make sure to follow, subscribe, do all of the things, and share this episode with a loved one on social media with the hashtag Unblock Your Blessings. Your honest review matters to me, again, friends, so please take a moment to leave an honest review. Until next time.